What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with a guy who was originally given the nickname, the Beast, Roelly Winklaar. I know he is kinda irrelevant in the current bodybuilding, but I think we all love the sheer mass and the freak factor that this guy brought to the stage for all those years. He was truly what we call a real mass monster. So I came across this picture of Roelly Winklaar flexing his biceps today. So it seems like that the man has been enjoying the retirement, and rightfully so, and he made his peace with it. And he started to focus on his health and his longevity. And that was the right thing to do. I have to say, mentally it is the hardest thing that these guys have to go through. And not just in the sport of bodybuilding, any athlete out there. So if we talk about the biggest arms in the history of bodybuilding, then I believe his arms will go down as one of the greatest that bodybuilding world has ever seen, along with guys like Lee Priest. So if we just talk about the triceps, in that discussion, his might be the greatest ever. So did Roelly live up to his potential? I guess he kinda did, especially back in 2018 when he placed third at Mr. Olympia. That year was Roelly's best of his entire professional career. Not only was he able to win the Arnold Physique in Australia, but he was able to beat so many big names at that time. Guys like Dexter Jackson, William Bonac, and especially both these guys were killing it at that time. So could Roelly have won the Olympia in 2019, especially if he brought that same package as he did the previous year? I'm gonna say maybe he could have, but the thing is, consistency was never his strong suit. In fact, that was one of his biggest weaknesses. I do however feel the pain of Roelly Winklaar, especially in 2020, when he was in prep for the Olympia, and he got diagnosed with COVID just a couple of weeks before the show. That was probably the last time Roelly Winklaar was looking extremely good, leading into the show as well, because after that, he suffered from a shoulder injury, which later became the reason for his retirement. So still one of the most loved guy by the fans in bodybuilding. Next up, we have the physique update of the Egyptian tank, Hassan Mustafa. So this update was recorded a week ago. So that makes it a little more than 3 weeks out of his first show of the season, which is gonna be Toronto Pro. And he's gonna be going up against guys like Akim Williams and Quinton at that show. And I have to say, I am really excited about this. So Hassan Mustafa is one of those guys who is extremely difficult to predict about, because consistency again isn't his strongest suit. So we cannot really say where he's gonna place at Toronto Pro. He could be fighting Akim Williams for the title, the same way he fought with Ian Valliere at the same show last year, and he actually pushed him extremely hard, and so many people had him winning the show. Or he could very well be outside of the top 3. The same way he lost to Winklaar at Orlando Pro last year, a show he wasn't supposed to lose by any means. And if he doesn't nail his conditioning here at Toronto Pro, we might see that same thing happen again. So his muscularity is his biggest strength. Even Ian Valliere after Toronto Pro said that Hassan is one of the most muscular guys that he has ever seen up close. So again, I don't think anyone can actually outmuscle him, not even Akim Williams. The problem with Hassan Mustafa is that he doesn't have a very great V-taper. He doesn't have very good aesthetics. So the shots like the front double biceps, the front lat spread, the front relaxed, they become sort of weak shots for him because of him having a wide waist. And this is gonna be even more evident when he's standing against guys like Akim Williams, who has a very tiny waist, and also Quinton who has one of the most amazing aesthetics in men's open bodybuilding at the moment. And both of these guys will be looking to get their Olympia qualification as well, especially Akim, because he has been in prep for quite some time now. So if I'm not mistaken, this will be the first time Hassan will be competing against Quinton. He has competed against Akim Williams at Puerto Rico Pro back in 2021, and Akim actually dominated that lineup. And this Akim that we saw in 2024, the new Akim, that is ahead of that physique, and that too by quite some margin. So do let me know what you guys think. Can Hassan Mustafa beat these guys and get his Olympia qualification? Next up, we have an update from Classic Physique, Urs. So more than 10 weeks post his last competition, which was the Arnold Classic UK, and still the man is in a phenomenal condition. So I have to say his back will be the main area that he's going to be focusing on the most during this off-season. And keep in mind, this is his 4th consecutive Mr. Olympia appearance. So when Urs first came onto the scene, that was back in 2021, and actually both him and Ramon made their Olympia debut in the same year. So Urs was actually able to beat Ramon in their first Olympia appearance, and they decided to do the Arnold Classic 2022 the next year. And the reigning champion, Chris Bumstead, had some very interesting comments on that if he was in that position, he would just train the entire year, make the maximum amount of improvements, just focus on the off-season, and come back better than ever, and actually try to win the Olympia title. And both these guys, Urs and Ramon, have been doing both Arnold as well as the Olympia every year since then. So maybe it's just a way of keeping the weight somewhat in range, because making the weight cutoff, that has been the biggest challenge for both these guys. And they face that every year. Even after that increase in the weight limit, they still have been facing that issue. So for Urs to potentially win the Olympia title, he needs to make some major improvements. He needs a better back. He needs better arms. Because everyone that he is chasing right now, they all have very complete backs. And now we have Fazi Wizards in there as well. So previously it was just him and Ramon, because everyone thought after C-Bomb's gonna retire, these guys are gonna be fighting for the title. But now that doesn't seem like the case. So talking about classic physique and of course Ramon Dino, he also gave us a sneak peek of how things are looking during this off-season about 20 weeks out of this year's Mr. Olympia. And the man is also looking massive, the biggest he has ever looked. So some people are already questioning how he is gonna make the weight at the Olympia this year, because he is still pushing. He is looking the biggest he has ever looked. But we have to keep in mind, Chris Aceto is the one in his corner, and he's gonna make sure that not only does he make it, but he also brings his all-time best. Because these guys have a point to prove this year. So this is gonna be a very long prep for Ramon Dino this year, about 20 weeks or so. So I'm telling you guys, brace yourselves for an upgrade version of Ramon, especially in terms of density. Because that was one of the biggest knocks on his physique at this past Arnold, and even the judges told him the same thing. And he needs to bring back that same density that he had at the Olympia last year. And I think he's gonna even surpass his Olympia package this time. So the people in his camp still believe that Ramon has the best chance of dethroning Chris Bumstead, as he has been runner-up for the last 2 years, and for the very first time since Chris Bumstead started winning the Olympia, which was back in 2019. The Olympia last year was actually the first time someone was able to push him really hard. So Classic Physique Olympia this year is just gonna be off the charts, with some very good storylines. Chris Bumstead's potential last year as a competitive Classic Physique athlete, Fazi Wizards being the wild card in there, the guy to look forward to, and of course Ramon Dino coming back for redemption. And same thing can be said about Urs Krashinsky as well, because he lost to Brian Ansley, and he said that he is coming back for his revenge. I'm sure some of you guys remember this guy, Nihat Kaya, the guy who won his pro card last year at the age of 20. So is he the youngest IV pro ever? The legend Lee Priest also became an IV pro at the age of 20. So please do comment down who holds the record of the youngest IV pro. So after having a very productive offseason with his coach Patrick Tour, who by the way was also his coach last year as well, when he won his pro card, Nihat Kaya is getting ready to make his pro debut in the 212 class this year. And it seems like he has packed on an impressive amount of muscle in this offseason. Now obviously he won't be looking nearly close to what Lee Priest looked like when he started his pro career, but this guy has amazing roundness, and he has a very small waist. Plus, we have to keep in mind that guy is just 21 years old. So he has a very good future ahead, because that kind of maturity at such a young age, that we see once in a blue moon. And the guy is very complete top to bottom, very balanced, very thickly built quads. But we are gonna find out more about this guy and his potential when he steps on the stage with the pros, because winning a pro card versus stepping on the stage with the pros, those are two entirely different levels. But that being said, it is so great to see such a young guy stepping on the stage against the veterans. He is 220 pounds right now in these updates. So he has to lose at least another 8 pounds so that he can be contest ready. So how high did you guys rate his physique considering his age? Do let me know in the comments below. And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.